What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Slow Mode. Thank y'all for tuning in with your host, Maurice Kennard, CEO of Slow Mode. Thank y'all for taking the time to kick it with me this evening. We got some exciting topics to talk about tonight. Hopefully, y'all stay tuned. Y'all kick it with me, interact with our live stream as we give you guys some evidence on basically our topic today, which will be why they fear African-Moorish history and science. So we're going to discuss this topic. Hang on. Try to get some music going here. I don't know what happened to. Good boy. One moment. Try to get some music going here to set the mood. It kind of just went out messing with the stream. But yeah, today we're going to talk about why they fear African-Moorish history and what the oh man, this is hang on. I think it's connecting to this. We're having technical difficulties. There we go. Let me start this over. Welcome back to our live stream, our 41st live on slow mode. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for taking the time to tune in to our evening live stream. As you all may know, we live stream every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. We discuss various topics about our channel, our business, and our future endeavors, and some major topics that need to be addressed in the current time. So feel free to drop any comments, any questions y'all have. Feel free to ask about our business, about our slow-moed Moorish portals or AMVs, music videos. Feel free to ask about our clothing, our merchandise, all that's available. And basically, the topic of today is why they fear African Moorish history and science. So I'm going to give you guys some evidence with scholarly references for you guys to back test and research yourselves. So I'm not going to, this topic can be built upon in much deeper terms, but I'll do that later on. I'll probably live stream for an hour today because I have a lot. I have a lot to do outside of the YouTube. So, um, but yeah, shout out to the state of Missouri. For any of the Missourians out there, I'm in the state of Missouri, and feel free to drop in the comment section where you watching from, what state you're watching from, what country you're watching from. I like to know our slow-mo Moorish. I say our slow-mo community would like to know as well. Our G's. If y'all not familiar, I wanted to refer to our slow-mo community as G's. That's gonna be our slow-mo community if you guys would accept. If you don't accept, that's okay. So um, let's get into it. Why they fear African Moorish history and science. Okay, so you all may be wondering, what do you mean by, or what do I mean by they? They tends to be the individuals that are lacking African Moorish history and science. So they can be the people that know African-Moorish science and are against African-Moorish science, or it could be they that clearly don't know and are ignorant to the subject. So they don't know about African-Moorish history and science, but they're against it. So I'm going to give you guys some context of why they fear this knowledge, this history and science of the African-Moors, or dark-skinned people. So if you guys follow my Twitter page at SLOWMOED 420, I usually get there are profiles on Twitter or X that tends to follow African-Moorish history, but they tend to share misinformation while hiding their true identities. So let's say there are burner accounts. If you guys are familiar with burner accounts, they're fake accounts. They're not really the accounts, the verified accounts of the individual behind the page. So these accounts appear up out of nowhere, and sometimes they're a part of a group, sometimes they're together, but they all have an agenda to share misinformation or to discredit anything of African-Moorish history. So they constantly try and discredit anything that the Africans created. Anything that the Africans contributed to science, these individuals try and basically undermine the Africans' contributions to civilization and various sciences. So they have this fear. This fear is for a mass amount of people realizing the greatness of African-Moorish history and science and the contributions to the rest of society. Now, a lot of these other platforms will not touch on this subject because, in my opinion and from my research, they have alternative agendas. Now, my agenda is about sharing truth, or ma'at. Ma'at is simply truth, justice, reciprocity, righteousness, balance, harmonious balance, etc. And this goes back to the ancient African mystical philosophy. So, to put this in simple terms, let me turn it up, that kind of jam. To put this in simpler terms, they fear this knowledge. I'll give you an example. There's these stone monuments in South Africa. They were named by Michael Tellinger and John Hayne as Adam's calendar. Now, these stone monoliths in South Africa have been dated to be at least 75,000 years old to 160,000 years old. So this is challenging, this information is challenging the theory of Göbekli Tepe in Turkey by 60,000 years. I've already addressed this in the previous live streams. If you go back and watch our previous live streams, please do, because they are very beneficial and very informative. So make sure you check our previous live streams. But yes, I discussed it, and I don't physically have a copy of Adam's Calendar book by Michael Tellinger and John Hayne at this particular moment, nor do I have the book Temple of the African Gods by Michael Tellinger and John Hayne at this moment. So I'm basically going off the top of the head, impromptu. So this knowledge of 75,000-year-old monuments built in Africa by Africans or dark-skinned and swarthy African peoples is fearful for the people that are trying to discredit the Africans and their contributions to civilization and society. So, this is only one example. Another example would be the dating of the Sphinx of Giza. Now, according to Dr. Muata Ashby, who is a Kemetic or Egyptian priest, also a doctor, he has a doctor in divinity and is an author of over 80 books, a spiritual preceptor, and owns a non-profit Egyptian yoga institution online where people are able to take courses. He also, I believe he used to take tours as well in ancient or in Egypt. So this author has stated that the now bear with me now. I'm going into esoteric knowledge. So esoteric knowledge is the mystical philosophies of ancient Africa. Now this may throw you all off because it's not that familiar with people that are not in secret societies or secret orders or secret groups. So what I'm saying may sound a little bizarre, but if you do the research, you will see everything that I'm saying can be verified with research. So, like I was saying, Dr. Muada Ashby, since he studies ancient Egyptian yoga, mystical philosophy, he understands how far back the ancient African mystical philosophy goes back in Africa. So he made the claim in one of his books, I believe it's either his book Serpent Power by Dr. Muada Ashby or Egyptian Yoga Volume 1 or Volume 2 or The Kemetic Tree of Life, Anunian Theurgy, Anunian Theology, etc. One of those books. I don't have the book with me right now. I'm basically doing this off the top of the head. I don't have a list around me. I'm not looking at some. I'm not telescripting. I'm basically just going off impromptu off the top of the head. So basically, in one of his books, I can't be as precise with the title currently, but he says that the serpent power or the Sphinx goes back to the time of Ra, which was, according to the book by Manetho, I think Histories. Manetho Histories. Manetho was an Egyptian priest, the last Egyptian priest, or of the old of the of ancient Egypt, not presently. So Manetho said that the time of Ra goes back. Uh, I could be wrong with my dates, but probably about 50,000 years ago in Egypt or Kemet. So, according to Dr. Shock and John Anthony West, and I think the book Serpent Power, I could be wrong, but in the book Serpent Power by Dr. Muada Ashby, John Anthony West and Dr. Shock, a geologist, said that the dating of the Sphinx goes back much older than 2700 BC, possibly 10,000 to about 36,000 BCE. Now, I think John Anthony, I think in John Anthony West's book, not his book, But I can't remember where it was said by Jonathan E. West, but he basically said that the dating of human history would be modified if they were to redate the Sphinx to it being built in 2000 and 10,000 years. Excuse me. John Anthony West John Anthony West basically said if the Sphinx was dated 10,000 through 36,000 BCE, he's saying that the human history would have to be rewritten. And this is why they fear African-Moorish science, because it's all the same. Moor simply means dark-skinned and swarthy. Africans, we already know who they are. Okay? Now, the Africans that built the pyramids, they're Africans. Not only that, they were dark-skinned and swarthy. This is proven by Dr. Sheikh Anta Diop, or Sheikh Anta Diop. And with his melanin research that he proved to UNESCO and defeated them with all of his evidence presented. But unfortunately, Sheikh Anta Diop did not make the etymological connection from the word Moor in English to meaning dark-skinned and swarthy, going back into Greek and Roman. So that was the only error that kind of disconnected basically the Moors from the Africans. But we all understand, according to genetic research, that Homo sapiens sapien comes from the interior of Africa and no place else. That's the oldest modern human DNA can be traced back by mitochondrial DNA. According to the book Black Genesis by Robert Bauval and Thomas Brophy, PhD. So this is why they fear this African Moorish history and science. Now, in that same book by Robert Bauval and Thomas Brophy, PhD, Black Genesis, The Prehistoric Origins of Ancient Egypt, they discovered a place west of Egypt, about 300 miles southwest in Egypt, in Libya, the Libyan desert called Naphtha Playa. Now, Naphtha Playa are these stone monoliths that are dated at least 7,000 to 11,000 BC. So that's about 3,000 plus years before ancient Kemet was united with Upper and Lower Egypt. So that's still African Moorish history, because history and science, because if you refer to the book by Dr. Ivan van Sertima, his book, The Golden Age of the Moor, he states in one of his chapters that the descendants of the Berbers who are the modern day Moors, according to English and according to linguistics, the Amazigh, I may be pronouncing that name wrong, but Dr. Ivan van Sertima said that the Berbers trace their ancestry back through the Garamantes. Now, the Turigs are thought to have built Naphtha Playa, and even the cave writings in the Sahara Desert. I believe west of Naphtha Playa, northwest of Naphtha Playa, in the desert. No, I think Jabril. I can't think of the name right now. It's in the book though. I'll probably like show that for a later time. But basically, this is African Moorish history and science that has been covered up, and they fear this. The they that fear this are the people that know African Moorish history, but choose to hide it because they have an agenda, or they that don't know and they are scared of the unknown. That's what ignorance is. Ignorance causes fear. People fear what they do not understand. This is why, uh, people have phobias. People are afraid of the dark. People are afraid of bugs because they don't know. They they never studied, you know, got familiarized with it. They don't know, they don't understand, so they fear it. So they is that's why the topic of this video is why they fear African Moorish history and science. So it's a broad, um, I say it's a wide word to use, which is why I decided to use it, just to shed more light on the topic, because nobody else will do this. Um, it seems these other platforms only want to associate Moorish science with Islam and the 711 AD to 1492 and Noble Drew Ali. And they don't want to associate it with pre 711, um, before Islam and before the Arab conquest, before the Carthaginians, who were the Moors as well, according to Dr. Yosef bin Yochanan or Jochanan. Uh, so it's like, it's pretty funny. And yeah, I thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for supporting us. We are almost to 900 subscribers. We got 20 subscribers more to go. Hopefully, y'all don't unsubscribe by like 50. So, but yeah, we're almost there, and we're gonna get there, of course. But it's just about, I guess it's just not the time. But we are continuously putting in the work every day. We live stream every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Uh, Make sure you buy our merchandise. This is our slow mode Astro Cowboy, created by yours truly. This shirt is available on our website. Make sure you get you one. They're available in different colors. The link is in the description for the shirt, so feel free to check that out. It's also on our Etsy page. Check out our slow mo Etsy, and yeah, we basically, with the use of create music videos and just utilize African science in everything that we do. So this is why they fear African Moorish history and science. Um, yeah, but even Stonehenge in the UK, according to I have various sources. According to, let's go with Dr. Mfundishi Jehutimus. I recently saw a video with Dr. Mfundishi Jehutimus going to visit Stonehenge, and he already understands that Stonehenge was created by the dark-skinned and swarthy Africans. This is still a part of African-Moorish history and science. As we all know that the cardinal directions come from the continent of Africa. Now, this isn't just to gloat about Africa and Africa this and Africa that. I understand people are like, they don't want to hear about Africa and all this, but it's an important piece in our history because collectively, all of our genes trace back to that continent. Our sciences traces back to that continent. And this is why the fear is so persistent. I wish I could show the tweet that I was having with an individual earlier on. About a day or two ago, I replied to this tweet by this Greek X account or a Twitter account, and basically they were saying they had the African continent, but below Egypt it was green, and it said in the caption of the picture it said, "Nothing below in green was ever invented anything." So I had to respond. I don't remember what I responded at the time, but about a week or 2 days ago, something like that, some random account decided to comment on what I said. I think I shared a book cover of Adam's Calendar by Michael Tellinger and John Haynes, showing that the first man-made structure, according to human history, was Adam's calendar 75,000 years ago. About 60,000 years older than Göbekli Tepe. Excuse me, allergies. So, the dude the whole time was trying to discredit both of Michael Tellinger's books. Now, some things I don't agree with about Michael Tellinger, and that would be the Anunnaki and Inky and all that, Zachariah Sitchin. Now, what these people trying to do, what these burner account people try to do, what these people that denounce African-Moorish history and science try to do, since they know African-Moorish science and history, they try and basically associate the bad things with that that they try to associate like conspiracy theories with evidence. They try and mix it together so it will be confusing to the people that don't know. So that would be the they that fear. The they that are in fear, they don't know. And when they hear of Zachariah Sitchin, Mars, Anunnaki, aliens, and all this, and it kind of jumbles up and muddies the water to try and make the ignorant people stay away so they don't examine it. So it's an interesting tactic. It's I've seen it amongst, for example, if you look at Dr. David Imhotep, author of the book The First Americans Were Africans. The author of that book. Now, I don't agree with all of his points of views, just like you all may not agree with my points of views. But however, I'm not stretching the imagination to extraterrestrials that I can't put any evidence on. So you have Dr. David Imhotep, who says that there are pyramids on Mars. Now, I don't agree with that statement. Just like Michael Tellinger saying that um, uh, following the teachings of Zecharia Sitchin, saying that the stone circles are cattle corrals when they weren't. So there's a lot of criticism. There's a lot of skepticism that needs to be made. And yeah, we're just basically slicing to the truth. But these are some of the tactics that the people that know African-Moorish history but has the alternative agenda, this is what they try and do. They try and jumble it up and make it confusing to the people that don't research. So if you look on my Twitter page, I retweeted Jesse Lee Peterson, Reverend Jesse Lee Peterson, the host of The Fallen State. He had an interview with Shaka Moses, and he basically was saying that the blacks, the so-called black people, don't research. And he has a point, but he's mocking them. Refer to our last live stream of on the topic of how they mock the blacks blatantly. So I'll give examples in that last live stream um, how various people mock the blacks through various media. Yeah, so feel free to comment. I'm probably just vibe out. I didn't say it a lot. Feel free to tune in. Yeah, man. But they fear African-Moorish history and science. There's so much more to be told too, but we need our community to to continue with our cause of bringing enlightenment to the rest of humanity. And it's not far-fetched. It's not a far-fetched idea. It can be done through the power of the internet. So we need you guys to subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. The faster we get to 1,000 subscribers, the more wilder things will get. And as we've been doing, we've been creating our slow-moed moorishportals for you guys, and we will continue doing that. So be on the lookout for our slow-moed moorishportals. It's going to get more wild. It's going to get more sporadic. Just things outside of our business has been taking up a lot of our time. As I said, we're in the state of Missouri. So currently, I'll be back in Houston coming soon. So yeah, shout out where you from. Comment if you have any questions, anything that I can basically touch on. Yeah, it's impromptu off the top of the head. I don't have no lists around me. But I said what I said. Why they fear African-Moorish history and science. And yeah, that's just a general breakdown. I have more information but let's just save that for the future videos and live streams. And yeah, I know it's scary. I know a lot of people fear what they don't understand, and it's to be expected. And I'm not even gloating about my knowledge, and I'm not gloating. I'm not big headed. No pun intended. But I'm very humble because in order to get to this level of knowledge, it took a lot of hard work and dedication, and a lot of losing a lot of associates because um, telling this to a lot of associates, it goes through one end and out the other because people don't like to research, and people fear what they don't understand. And sometimes thinking is just too hard. And I can understand. I can relate because sometimes just to keep it a buck or keep it 100, sometimes um, life basically gets in the way of a lot of things. Whether that be you're taking care of somebody or um, bills, the rat race, going to work, um, family members pass away. Um, but all that can be managed through African mysticism, African yoga, yogic philosophies, ancient. All of that can be managed and harnessed if um, if one chooses to explore those avenues of knowledge. Um, so yeah, that's just a part of the carnal nature of the human body and the realm of time and space, the physical realm. So this is why they fear African-Moorish history and science. This is just a tip of the iceberg of why they fear it. Because once a vast majority of the population on the planet understands that the concept of time and the calendar comes from the dark-skinned and swarthy Africans, it's only a matter of time. I know that I'm only one man, but I can use um, our community's help. I can use the subscribers. I don't have the platforms just yet, but um, I just need the community to work with me, get the message out to to the to the world because um, I believe it's very beneficial to the events in human history. Yeah, I mean, I'm having a good time. Having a good time. We're creating Moorish portals, something that's never been done in human history, and it's not BS either. It's not BS either. So it's pretty funny. And yeah, you just gotta navigate through all the BS, um, navigate through all the fear because it's it's only an illusion. Um, but yeah, read the books by Dr. Mulata Ashby, um, Serpent Power, Anunian theology, Egyptian yoga, volume 1 through 3, Egyptian mysteries, volume 1 through 3, um, the philosophy of Ma'at, the Egyptian proverbs, um, the temple of the soul. There's so many by Dr. Maude Ashby. It's amazing. Um, and these are the same teachings that are being taught in secret societies like the Freemasons, Knights Templars, Rosicrucians, uh, Shriners, etc. So all this ancient knowledge of the Africans traces back into Africa, but all these orders are trying to like pick a little bit pieces from it and make it their own when it comes from the interior of Africa. Because even Homo sapiens sapiens or humans come from the interior of Africa. So this is why they fear it. I'm just sharing evidence. This is evidence. This isn't conspiracy theories. This isn't speculation. This isn't he say, she say. There are monuments there. There's DNA studies that are current in the year 2025, common era, or after D, or AD, I mean. So, yeah, just research, rewatch the video, rewatch the live stream, watch all of our live streams, put them on shuffle. You can gather whatever information you want from them because the information is there. I just don't have a large enough platform as of yet to spread the message. Um, so we need subscribers, share our YouTube videos to your associates, friends, family, um, whoever. We welcome criticism. Criticism is welcome. I understand that that's what comes with the territory, with the type of information that I am giving to the audience. All criticism is welcome, even from the secret society members, because they are a part of the day that fear African-Moorish history and science. So they're already going to come into our comment section and spew hate and try and discredit and share the regurgitated talking points and regurgitated trolling meme pics. This is what they do. So we're already prepared, and just know, like, um, by you sharing that misinformation, the people watching are going to catch on. Who knows what? So no matter if you use a burner account,
You shipped same day delivery.
Excuse me.
Empty, but your
I want to get back to the music.
yourself.
So no matter if you use a burner account to try and discredit African-Moorish history and science, the people that's watching will know who's against African-Moorish science and history and who's not. They're gonna know who's seeking knowledge and who's actually just don't know the origin of Homo sapiens sapiens. I mean, there's DNA evidence, there's anthropology, study of bones, there's blood. So I don't. It's like, okay, go ahead and comment. I mean, I have evidence. I presented various books for self study, various references. So, um, yeah, that goes for social media as well. For example, X or Twitter. For those of you that plan to challenge African-Moorish history and science out of fear, for those that try and challenge it, um, they'll tend to use a lot of like the troll pictures. So like if you bring up, let's say you bring up the Olmec heads, right, in America, they'll regurgitate the same Olmec um, talking points. So they'll show this I say Hispanic guy with these big lips to try and like uh, show his resemblance to the Olmecs, but we already know this isn't even natural. If I had the picture, I would show it because they do this every time. It's like they show the same picture of the Olmecs, and it looks like it don't look like Africans, but it looks like the Hispanics. So that's just some of, and that's not to bash other cultures because I have the understanding that Homo sapiens sapien, which is modern human, comes from Africa, period. All over the world. Every human being has genetics from Africa. And the evidence, if you want the evidence, Black Genesis, the prehistoric origins of ancient Egypt by Robert Bouval, Thomas Brosman. There's a documentary called The Incredible Human Journey by Alice Roberts. It was aired on the British Broadcasting, I'll just say BBC because I don't know the acronym. But yeah, that's all available. So if you don't want to read the book, there's a video documentary showing the genetics tracing back to Africa of every human being. So if you're not a human being, I don't know where you came from. And if you're not a human being, can you please show me um, your Inky, Anunnaki um, origins? See, now that Inky and Anunnaki origins would line up with Michael Tellinger and Zachariah Ascension, right? Now that's why I don't agree with Michael Tellinger when he aligns the stone monuments in Africa built by the Africans with Zachariah Sitchin and the Anunnaki and Inky and other Sumerians. So that's why I don't agree with, but that's just my opinion. My opinion isn't solid. I don't agree with it, but that's what he says in his book. Um, now, with let's get on the subject with Credo Mutwa. Credo Mutwa, the African spiritualist in South Africa, may he rest in peace, Ashtay. But he agreed with Zachariah Sitchin. But I don't agree with that. I don't. I don't agree with it. That's just my opinion. From my research, I have no evidence of Anunnaki, Inky, and all I know is what's been presented through the scientific consensus of evidence. For example, genetics and DNA, anthropology, history, human migrations, etc., monuments, dating, etc. So that's just my opinion. But yeah, there's a lot of fear, and
Today I went to Walmart to go and pick up a.
there's a lot of people trying to discredit
Shot is the big.
African-Moorish history and science. And yeah, it takes a communal effort. I can't just do it all alone. Um, it takes our community. If you've been with us this long, you already and you've been watching our videos and seeing what we've been accomplishing throughout the years, you all have a bit of knowledge of what's been going on. And so even even the so-called enemies against African-Moorish history may be watching right now, may be monitoring the Twitter page right now. How would I know? They present themselves through the comments, through the videos, etc. They present themselves. It's pretty evident. And yeah, it's to be expected, like I said. and there's no fear. Because it's only a matter of time. They can't continue to discredit African Moorish history and science and think that by them undermining it is going to go away, because it won't. And they'll keep on building up and building up and building up. So this knowledge will eventually seep out, and the masses will obtain the knowledge. It's only a matter of time. Because thanks to the internet, everybody are communicating at a faster rate now. There are no new continents to explore. So there's no longer that disconnect. However, there is the danger of wars and even delusions or cataclysmic events happening. Things happening with the earth. For example, a so-called flood, the melting of the glaciers, possibly a meteor, earthquakes, etc. There's all these different things that can happen that can set human back again. Well, let me rephrase that. There are delusions or catastrophes that can happen in human history that can set humanity back again. So these are the reasons why the pyramids and these various stone structures were created thousands of years ago. So humanity wouldn't be set back again. And they have to learn to walk on, do the same thing over again. The Sphinx's riddle, so to speak. But yes, this is why this knowledge is so fearful. Yeah. So yeah, I thank y'all for taking the time to listen. Hopefully you gained something from this. I'm pretty sure you have. I could be wrong though. Like I said, previous associates couldn't handle the information and just went through one ear and out the other. So this is why recordings are available. Why they are this is why books are available. So in the near future, so let that sink in. But till then, support our brand, support our slow-moed Moorish portals. We're doing something that's never been done before in human history with the limited tools that we have. Expect within the coming week or two to witness our 900 subscriber celebration YouTube video. So that's in the works currently. We got a lot of projects in the works. So We got more slow-mo, moorish portals coming. So yeah, we're gonna transport y'all perceptionally through the black dot in the brain, perceptionally through the brain, the Moorish, the Moorish black dot in the pineal gland. We're gonna transport you guys perceptionally through those alternative realities, so you guys can witness various alternative dimensions of anime, gaming, music videos, and movie music videos. But yeah, we're taking you there perceptionally. So we're gonna call it into this stream. Make sure y'all tune in every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. We discuss various topics and we let you know if we're gonna live stream at a different time within the coming week. So make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, like and comment on our videos, and we will catch you next time. I thank y'all. Deuces.